We just have to warn them that there would be protesters out there.
And I slammed my body down on top of him. And by the time when he got onto his stomach and he was continuing to roll, I put my elbow in his kidney, and he stayed put. And there was an officer there in a few seconds.
In the time of Lambs of Christ, clinic security was at an elevated level. A security company was hired, Bovar was in constant contact with the Fargo Police Department, and for an extended amount of time, federal marshals were on site to enforce women's right to choose. Abortion doctors across the nation took protective measures to be safe, such as wearing bulletproof vests.
That's hogwash. This is not peaceful, prayerful activity. This is obstruction. It's a federal...
Good evening, everyone. Abortion protesters chained themselves to old cars today.
Abortion clinics experience violence across the country. Fargo's Women's Health Organization was no exception. On April 6, 1998, the doctor's office was firebombed.
I would say from 1982, the caseload has remained fairly steady. One morning, one of the protesters that was at my house at 7 o'clock in the morning when we were going to see patients that day, and when I went out to get in my car, he laid underneath the tires of my car to block my car so I couldn't get out of the driveway. My neighbors were just really fed up, and when a number of them came, they all turned their sprinklers on at the same time. People would come up to me and they would say things like, you know, I'm not sure I support abortion, but I certainly don't think that what they're doing is appropriate. Over the years, I've had the experience of people coming up to me and saying, I know who you are and I support what you do. So that's probably been the best part of it.
Through constant opposition, the pro-choice community provided a take-charge approach by volunteering. Over 100 volunteers aided the clinic and its patients through various means, such as safely escorting patients into the clinic.
We had escorts that were helpful.
Clinic staff didn't always know what the day would bring, but were always prepared for the unexpected. In an attempt to close abortion clinics, anti-choicers began frivolous lawsuits to whittle away money from clinics.
I truly believe that their only reason for doing that was that they thought it would cost us a lot of money and put us out of business. We had a local attorney who helped with the case a bit, but for the most part, 99% of the legal work was done free, and it didn't cost us all that much, and we were able to win the case.
The clinic was not only battling the sieges of protesters, but were challenging laws and fighting legislation restricting women's access to reproductive health care.
The physician or the physician's agent had to give all kinds of information to the patient about the risks involved, and that was it was a real hassle. It made it difficult for us and difficult for the patients, particularly when the clinic was open just one day a week. If people didn't call enough in advance, they couldn't meet the 24-hour requirement.
I think all society views abortion as it's bad and you're a horrible person. I don't really think I was raised that way. It's just the way the society looks at things.
Because of the nature of society condemning people who had abortions, it was important for them to be able to talk to somebody, to have the whole abortion procedure explained to them, but also to have an opportunity to talk about their own feelings related to it.
As recent as the fall of 2007, the Red River Women's Clinic was targeted by the National 40 Days for Life campaign. Similar to past tactics, it was promoted as a peaceful prayer vigil, but was actually a protest. Pro-choice leadership activated the community to support the clinic by letters of support and raising $1,000 for the WIN Fund.
These things kind of come and go, and it's very frustrating to me because I see them out in front of the clinic using it as if it's their space, and it makes me really angry that patients have to walk through. Patients don't know what's going to happen to them, and I just wonder, A, how many other businesses would tolerate or have to tolerate people out in front of their building for 40 days and 40 nights. To me, it feels like a violation, a personal violation. I think the most disconcerting thing to me has been the fact that young women just kind of assume it's there, and I don't think that people realize how tenuous it is.
During times such as the Lambs of Christ and the 40 Days for Life campaign, media portrays pro-life as the dominant view of society, but in reality, it is not. Extremist groups are becoming successful in influencing policies and legislation. It is even more important that the pro-choice majority becomes more active than we have been in the past. It's your body, your choice, your right to choose.